I'm going to show you two different ways to make half square triangles. The first is the one that's written in the pattern. I like to mark all of my background fabric squares instead of the feature fabric squares, just because they tend to be easier to see markings on. So I'm going to take one of my background fabric squares. I'm going to line up a ruler with the points on the diagonal, and I'm going to use a hero marker to just draw a line. So it's pretty easy to see under the light of the sewing machine. Then I'm going to place this square right sides together with my feature fabric square so that the right sides are touching. And then I'm going to sew 1/4 inch from this drawn line on each side. Okay, I have now sewn a line 1/4 inch from each side of the drawn line. Now I'm going to cut along the drawn line, so just along the diagonal. So I have these two pieces, and now I'm going to press them. I like to press my seams open. I've pressed my seams. Now I have two half square triangles, which is enough to make one block. Okay, now I'm going to show you the other method, which is actually my preferred method. The advantage of the method where you draw on the line is that even though you're still sewing on the bias, having the square be whole instead of cut in half helps to stabilize the bias so that you have less stretching. But I have found that if I pin, I just prefer this method. So I just go ahead and cut my squares in half before sewing. And then I'm going to pin them. One thing I like about this method is that, especially if I have directional fabrics, it helps me to have the fabric go the right direction without having to think about it too much. And yes, I am an overpinner. Okay. I'm going to sew those together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, I have now sewn those together, and I'm going to press my seams. And I've got two half square triangles. So the same result with two slightly different methods.